Good morning and happy Saturday, you guys. It is Amanda and Barron with Kickin'Cancer Cares on KSLM Radio, 104.3 FM and 1220 AM. Our sponsor for this first half is Oddmost Pizza. And if you have not had Oddmost Pizza yet, shame on you, for one. And for two, go order right now. They deliver or you can go pick it up. Super easy. They've got so many different locations. My favorite's the Lancaster one. It's just really easy and convenient to get to.
Yeah.
And their Green Monster's my favorite, but their poppers, their wings, their JoJo's, all of the things. The salads, the pastas.
Yeah, there's so much now.
I could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
And
you could, but we have more stuff to talk about.
Yes, but their cauliflower crust, you can add it to any pizza, and it is so good. Oh, it's so good. And you can hardly taste the difference.
The first time I had one, I had no idea it was cauliflower. Mm-hmm. Not a clue.
Yes.
It's really good.
I prefer the cauliflower crust with or without dieting or anything myself. Yeah. It's so good.
Me too.
So
definitely.
Huge shout out to Mike from Oddmost Pizza.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you,
there's a third voice. Did you
yes,
have a third voice?
Hello.
Hello, I'm here too. I had to say yes, absolutely cauliflower pizza.
Yes. Have you had his?
I have not had theirs, but I definitely prefer cauliflower pizza.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
So we will going to get much deeper into Brooke, but I do want to do this. A good friend of mine, Brooke Jenkins. Welcome to the show.
Hello, welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes.
So last week we were actually at the hyperbaric chamber, which was an interesting to go on location again.
Yes.
And be there with Michael and see that machine.
Yes.
What I find intriguing is there are so many health benefits to getting more oxygen into your body. Mm-hmm. And I really, really hope for those that are listening and haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, just go to YouTube, put in Kickin'Cancer Productions. Right now, there's a little thing that's Ashley's put up to subscribe. But subscribe to our show, because the great thing about last week's episode is you can actually see this hyperbaric chamber.
Yes,
and
I love that.
That was such a great, and it's really great that we're not just in the studio all the time, but we're on location periodically.
Yeah, yes, we are indeed.
Well, I do want to make sure to get our food in.
Okay.
And this is kind of an interesting one. Brooke and I were talking before we started recording. This week's is lentils.
Lentils, okay.
Are you a fan?
I used to be a caregiver, and I would cook her lentils all the time. And they were so plain that in my mind, I don't like them. But if you want to know the honest truth, I don't think I've ever tried them.
Okay. Well, I remember it was a couple years ago, and we had gone up to Woodland, Washington. And we may have talked about this already, but we went to Woodland, Washington, and this wonderful lady, we did a cooking show in her house, and Brenda came with us, and she created a lentil salad.
Okay.
And I was very honest with her. I said, I have never tasted lentils I liked until that day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because most of the time I've had them, they cook them, and they overcook them, and then they're mushy, whereas she cooked them a little bit, but then it was a cold salad, and it was actually really good.
Okay. With like a little bit of did they have like a crunch?
A little crunch to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have me intrigued.
Yeah. Lentils are easy to cook. You can use them for soups, salads, curries, and many other recipes. There's green, black, brown, red, and split red lentils. This method works for all lentils. Make sure there are no stones hiding between the lentils. Then rinse them to remove dirt and debris. Then add the lentils to a pot with plenty of water. The ratio is 1 cup of lentils for 4 cups of water. Optionally, you can add a couple of bay leaves, cover with a lid, bring to a boil, and crack the top open. Lower the heat, add salt halfway through cooking, and simmer until the lentils are tender. The green and brown lentils we're using cook in about 15 to 30 minutes, so taste them around 15 minutes and adjust cooking time accordingly. You can use them for stuffed vegetables or for a delicious lentil mujadra. They're great in all kinds of salads like tabbouleh and sweet potato salad. Make a holiday-friendly lentil loaf and many other everyday recipes. Easy, right?
Yeah. So lentils are powerful, but you need to get the right person to cook them for you.
Correct. Sounds like it.
So
Not
what the magazine says, and again for those that are just tuning in, this is our 100 disease-fighting foods. It's just an alphabetical in here. But lentils, they're a power of pulse food. Lentils not only are a great source of plant-based protein, which is a comment that Brooke made about them, but they're also brimming with polyphenols. Studies suggest this class of antioxidants may protect the heart and even, this is kind of cool, even have the power to halt the growth of some skin cancers.
Oh, wow.
So if you have...
Okay. Halt. That's a pretty powerful
like
word.
literally stop the growth of skin cancers. That's super cool. 1 cup of lentils contains 16 grams of fiber.
Wow.
Which is great for your digestive system and also quite satisfying.
Yeah.
So that's our...
Interesting.
Yep. And then for those that didn't get a chance,
Oh, yes.
Amanda always takes a picture of this.
Yes. So do they come in different colors?
Apparently, I didn't know that. I
They're
mean,
like the color of the rainbow over
yeah,
here.
there's several different kinds.
Interesting. I wonder if the different colors mean different things. I'm used to cooking those brown ones.
You know, hold on. I'm going to put Brenda on speed dial and we'll find out. Yeah. She always sends to have an
She
answer
knows all
for
the
me.
answers to all the things.
But it does say they're in the same class as like kidney beans, which is maybe why they're the different
you
colors
stay
in there.
still.
So.
Okay, here you go.
Well, what I thought would be really kind of fun, we've had, you know, a few shows back, we did this really kind of interesting God thread that I talked about when Stacey Ann was here.
Yes, yeah.
There's a very interesting series of events that led up to meeting Brooke, but even more importantly, getting Brooke involved in our organization at a time that we really needed someone with some technological knowledge that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And throw your thoughts in here, Brooke, but it was like the end of 2019, and I had gone to a networking meeting, and you were there too,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And we just started talking about your mission and what we were trying to do.
How similar our missions were and our passion was.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we're going to get deeper into her mission, her passion. But it was early 2020, and I had reached out to Dr. Emily Ho, which is up at Oregon State University, and I was literally pinching myself that I was in her office talking to her.
Yes.
At OSU, there's a building. It's called the Linus Pauling Building, and they are literally getting the data to prove that food is medicine.
Yes.
And she
Okay.
runs that whole building.
All right.
And she is an international speaker. She had just come back from Korea before she spoke. Remember?
I do remember.
Yeah.
Yes. It was fantastic.
And we got this wonderful building that had this audio visual capabilities. And Brooke says, we should Zoom this thing. I said, we should do what? So tell me your memories of that event.
Well, that was actually, you may not remember this, that was like my second event with you. I had come to a workshop you had done before that.
Oh, yes.
And then I came to that event, and I was actually kind of, in a sense, one of your vendors. I had a little table there and that sort of thing. And then I was like, we need to Zoom this. We need to get this out to more people.
Yeah.
This is such an amazing message. And with Zoom technology, I mean, you're not just limited to the people that were there. You can reach a whole nother audience of
Yeah.
people who couldn't be there in person. And I've been using Zoom now almost 10 years. So it's, that was a few years back.
Well, that was 4.5 years ago.
Yeah. So
But see, at that time, it was prior to the pandemic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there was only a handful of people, Brooke was some of them, but there weren't a lot of people that were actually utilizing Zoom technology.
Right. Yeah.
And I had no idea what she was talking about. But she figured out how to do it, and we actually still have that video captured. I still have it on my computer.
Oh, that's
captured.
cool.
And a lot of the slides that Dr. Ho was talking about. Well, then, a bit fortuitous that Brooke suggested that, because right afterwards I said, well, why don't you be a speaker at our next clinic?
yeah.
So we were planning a clinic that was going to be in March, and it was March of 2020 when COVID hit.
Yep.
And at that time, we didn't know a lot about COVID, but the other speaker was actually a pancreatic cancer survivor,
Oh, wow.
and his wife was just very leery. Like, we don't know anything about this COVID thing, but you probably shouldn't be in a big group of people, and we wound up canceling that clinic.
Okay.
And then, of course, then we knew more about COVID, and everything was getting shut down, and I just didn't want to see our education program go away.
Yeah.
So I said, Brooke, tell me more about this Zoom thing.
Yes.
Yep.
Now I'm really intrigued.
Now I'm intrigued. And you were just so much help in bringing those seminars during that period of time.
Yeah. And I remember being a guest speaker via Zoom through social media and that sort of thing. Right after we talked a few times and we
Yeah.
got it going. And then you just ran with it from there, which was really awesome to see.
Well, and what was so intriguing to me is the biggest group we had was 70 people
Wow.
at one of our sit-down
Yeah.
live events, right?
That's a big crowd.
Yeah, except it is, and I was feeling pretty good with 70. But then, thanks to Brooke, we do this Zoom thing, and then of course you get some data coming back. The biggest Zoom one had 2,300 people watch it.
my.
Like,
That's
there's
huge.
no
There's no comparing those
You know?
two.
Yeah.
we just couldn't have reached the masses the way that I wanted until
Yeah.
Brooke came along with this idea, this thing
Oh,
called Zoom.
yeah.
Opened up lot more doors.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was cool.
And location, because now you're not limited to just here local. Now you can reach people all across the nation and the world and get the message across.
Yes. Okay. I love it. That's cool.
It was really cool. It was such an interesting timing thing because I had been doing things sit down live, come to our location, hear our message.
Right.
I hadn't even thought about that there was this technology, and then she says, well, let's do Zoom. I'm like, what is Zoom?
Yes. There's been a few times where Zoom has been an option for me. And with the whole COVID thing, I try to stay away from Zoom just because I like more in person. But sometimes I don't have the time to drive to these locations. Like sometimes they'll be in the middle of the day during a lunch hour. And it's like, okay, I've got that hour, but not for getting there and coming back. So it's starting to be a more normal thing with or without the pandemic behind it.
Yeah. I mean, again, there's a lot of things about the pandemic that were frustrating, but it did force many of us to look for different avenues.
Yeah.
And that what really forced us, if we're going to keep doing an education program during a time when you can't get people together, how are we going to do that?
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so I really give tons of kudos to Brooke for at least introducing that concept to me. But what I really want you to hear is I want you to hear what Brooke's message was that I heard at the end of 2019, where I knew immediately like we needed to work together. So tell us your personal story and your mission.
Yeah. So, well, my personal story started almost 10 years ago. Actually, 10 years, 1 month tomorrow. 1 month. I'm not saying it right. Whatever. But 10 years ago, we're just going to leave it at that. 10 years ago, my journey started. My journey started way before then, but my actual journey where I'm at now started. And I had struggled my weight my whole life. You name it. I tried it. I looked into everything to try to get healthy, to lose weight. I struggled as a teen, being overweight. I did the whole starvation thing as a teen. Absolutely. Not healthy. Don't recommend that, please. But I didn't know what else to do. And I was diagnosed at age 25 with polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS. So anybody who knows what that is, it affects fertility, makes your body insulin resistance. Oh, and with that diagnosis, here comes a whole plethora of things you get to look forward to: diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol. There's a whole list of things. And the doctor basically said, well, there's not much that we can do for you. You know, if you count calories, exercise, lose some weight, it could help. But it's really hard to lose weight with that, and it's really easy to gain it. So good luck. I'm like, thanks. That's not helping. And I found out because, I had married my high school sweetheart. We wanted kids. And, I was having fertility issues and didn't even know it. Long story short, fast forward several years, 10 years ago, I had we were totally blessed with a 3 and a 4-year-old at the time. What a blessing. But I had tried everything at that point, and I was giving up. I had literally 10 years ago, I was like, I'm done trying anything. Nothing's working for me. I'm just accepting I'm going to be a big mom on the sidelines. Nothing's going to work. And then my friend became a coach, and his wife was melting, and I was like, nope, not going to work. Not doing that. Not going there. But I wanted to support him. He was really excited about this. I'm like, all right, I'll give you 30 days. Not a day more. I'm going to prove to you this is not going to work for me. I'll follow your thing to a T. 30 days in, yes, I lost weight, but I felt amazing. I had energy. I had stamina. I was showing up as a mom I wanted to be. I was like, I had joy. It was just amazing. I was like, wow, okay. I could care less if I lost another pound.
Right.
If I continue to feel like this, like, amazing. Yes, I'm in. So I continued my health journey, lost 100 pounds 10 years ago. And my entire life has completely changed. I am very passionate about helping other people. Results not typical, but my symptoms of PCOS have gone away. I have not had symptoms of PCOS for 9 years.
Wow.
Cannot guarantee that. Disclaimer.
Congratulations.
Right. But
that's huge.
It's huge. Absolutely huge. And because of that also, we were able to, because of my health journey and the weight loss and my continual health, add 2 more babies to our family. So we have 4 kiddos. My youngest will turn 6 tomorrow.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yes, so just beyond blessed with that. And so my personal story, that's my personal story.
Just from eating better and doing a lot of the mental work. Okay.
That
We're
is,
going to get deeper to that in the second half of the show. Deeper to that,
yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, and what's really awesome is Brooke was sharing that story with this group that we were with, and it's always inspirational to hear somebody's story, what they've gone through, but it was the next sentence that you said that really resonated. Go ahead, you say it.
You're talking about my tagline?
Yeah.
Okay, so take time today for your wellness so you're not forced to make time tomorrow for your illness.
Yes. Nailed it. Exactly.
Let that sink in,
yeah.
right?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just resonated because we started Kickin'Cancer to be a proactive organization.
Yeah.
That very first month, I was invited to some group to speak, and of course, I'm this new guy on the block with this cancer message, and I'm like, well, what makes you different than everybody else?
Yeah.
And I said, well, we are proactive to prevent cancer, and that's a different message than everybody else.
Yeah.
So I hear, Brooke, either you take time for your wellness now, or you're going to be forced
Right.
Yep.
to take time for your illness later. And that's really kind of how we began to connect. So how do you share that message now after 10 years? What's your...
Oh, it's really comes down to hope. I mean, I was hopeless 10 years ago, and just being it sounds funny, but I call myself a hope dealer. That's my passion. I want to be very relatable, very vulnerable with my own health journey.
Yeah.
I personally am a food addict and an emotional eater, and I'm very vulnerable with that and open with that, right?
Goes, sign me up.
No, same.
And I want to give hope to other people, because there's so many people who are struggling with those same things. They don't know what to do, and they feel like there's nothing that they can do, like where I was at. Like nothing's ever worked for me. I'm just done. I'm accepting this. This is my fate. And it doesn't have to be that. So I continue to share. I continue to live my journey out loud. I am not perfect by any means, and that's not the goal. The goal is to have progress over perfection and to continue every day to choose you.
Amen. I love that.
I think she's speaking your love language.
Yeah. Are you talking just directly to me?
Maybe.
Over here.
Maybe.
Is that a little relatable there, Amanda?
Yeah. Well, like with the emotional eating and just, I would say probably my biggest addiction is food. I love food. I love just tasty, good food. Yeah. When I'm bored, I find myself in front of the fridge. When I'm stressed out, happy, sad, mad, glad, all of it, I gravitate towards food. If there's a celebration, I want to celebrate with food. Yeah. It's my go-to.
Statistically, food is the number one go-to for emotional mismanagement. And, then there, of course, there's drugs and alcohol, and, with women, it's shopping, and with men, it's pornography after that. But, I mean, and then even after that, so here's another big one. I know I have a struggle with this. The fifth one, I believe it is being busy. Keeping yourself busy and distracted is actually a avoidance mechanism to mismanagement of emotions, but food is the number one go-to statistically. So it's huge.
Well, so like when I get angry with my kids, I start cleaning. Is that me keeping busy instead of dealing with my emotions? I'm like little suckers. Sweeping away your mess I go.
Well, I don't know if you remember, it was quite some time back when Jason Conrad was here as a guest on our show, and
with Mike.
That was we got Mike, we got Jason Conrad.
They're two very tall and short people.
Yeah. My favorite memory, segue here, my favorite memory when Jason Conrad was here was when he decided to take a picture of us, and he says, I have a built-in selfie stick.
Yes, yes.
Jason Conrad is 7 feet tall. But we were talking about depression because he is a suicide survivor, right? And it's taken me a long time to share my own story through depression. But what I learned was serotonin is a chemical that creates pleasure. It controls all the happy places in your brain, but 90% of your serotonin is created inside your stomach.
Okay.
It's serotonin is created in your gut, and there's these little neurons, like little tentacle fingers, I guess, inside your stomach, and they send these receptors to your brain that tells you you're happy or you're sad or whatever. And so if you're not eating properly, that affects your mood.
Yeah.
And when I learned that, it just made so much sense. And so I think Brooke heard me tell the story in some of our seminars, that you've got this girl, we'll just say her name's Susie, and Susie's boyfriend's a jerk. He just broke up with her, and she is super sad. So now she has 2 new boyfriends, Ben
and Jerry.
Yes. And she's eating to make herself feel better, but she's actually literally feeding her depression.
Yes.
Yep.
And when I understood that, then, knowing myself, knowing that I have gone through those depression stages, if I'm feeling myself pulling away from people, which is that 3rd level of the depression. And for a guy like me who likes to be around people, if I'm pulling away, my first question is, well, what have you eaten lately?
Yeah.
And are you doing any exercise?
Yeah.
Because those 2 I can control.
Yes. I've been doing good with my dieting. And today I ate and ate and ate. And I felt just, bleh. I was just like, I do not feel good. And one of my coworkers was like, everything okay? And it was like, yeah, I just overstuffed my face. So I'm just feeling like a blob. And that happened. So something I started doing a few months ago is I will get grapes and strawberries and cuties and all those fruits and vegetables from the store, but I will destem my grapes. I will cut up my strawberries. I will peel my oranges and put them in my fridge so that it's just an easy grab, just like that bag of chips is an easy grab, just like, so making it easily accessible makes it easier for me to just grab. I'm a nighttime snacker. I don't know why, but my hunger comes alive at nighttime.
Not unusual. Depletion and all that sort of thing.
Awful.
Absolutely.
And so I started doing that, and it's helped a lot, like just grabbing a few grapes. And it's like, okay, that was great. It was a sweet snack, and it was healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and for people that have watched our show or listened to our show for a long time, there is something not in your lap. Lucy.
She is.
Oh, is she?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I just can't see her from here. There she is. Well, because that's our mascot. She's been with us from the time we started doing this show.
Yes.
And what was it, 5 or 6 weeks ago that Lucy just had that
So it was
paralyzation?
June 7th.
Oh,
she went
so it
down.
was almost 2.5 months ago. But I mean, I remember you came in and you were a wreck.
Oh, yeah.
You were a wreck. And so every time something happens with a call from a vet or one more thing, that's just triggering those emotions. And like Brooke said, now all of a sudden you're emotional eating.
Yes.
Yep.
And I did emotionally eat today.
Yeah.
I did indeed.
Yeah.
She's fighting and battling stuff.
Well, and I think the other thing that you said, Brooke, that is so good for all of our listeners is, none of us are perfect.
No.
And so you just realize, even for me, okay, all of a sudden I just ate a pint of ice cream. What's wrong with you, Baron? Why did you eat that whole pint of ice cream? What is happening in my life that is triggering me to want food to get rid of my stress?
Yeah.
But until you understand that, you just keep repeating the cycle, right?
When it comes back to habits of thinking that we're super unconscious about. So we have an amazing assessment where you can really take a free assessment to recognize your habits of thinking, the unhealthy habits of thinking that usually then compound to trigger to then lead you to the eating that you don't even realize happened until it's all done. Now you're going, well, what's wrong with me? And, doing the self-blame, self-shame game, which then just, what does that do? Spiral it even more, right? And
Well, this is probably a great chance because we didn't do the start, but Brooke, you're a health coach. So if someone were want to utilize your services, how would they get a hold of you?
Facebook is actually the easiest way. Jenkins for Health. I'm on Facebook all over the place. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have where are you located?
I am completely virtual.
Oh, awesome.
So I actually have clients from Guam to the East Coast.
Oh, wow.
And everything in between.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's kind of nice. You can stay at your house and deal with your clients.
Yeah.
Hence the knowledge of Zoom.
Hence why I love Brooke so much.
It comes full circle.
Yeah. Well, with 4 kids at home, I have to be able to be flexible and be able to still work around them. I mean, we're in our last, with school and everything, I have to be flexible. So
yes, I feel that. I'm part-time here, part-time at home to tend to the children.
Exactly.
Well, what I really want to do, and I know we're running close on time, so we'll get deeper into this in the second half of the show, but I told Brooke, I said, tell your story, what inspired you and what that message is. But I want our listeners to walk away today with some tips, some things that some things that Brooke thinks they can work with, and we'll get deeper into that in the second half of the show. But I found a new magazine for us.
Oh.
So again, one of these I just found at the grocery store. It's a Time magazine. It's called The Science of Nutrition.
Okay.
Isn't it intriguing?
Yes.
The Science of Nutrition. And I just, this is so funny, another God moment. But I told Brooke, I said, why don't you think of 4 tips that we can give people? So she just randomly sent me these 4 tips. Well, then I'm going through the magazine, and here's 8 weight loss strategies that actually work. And all 4 of those tips are in the magazine.
Oh, hilarious. So you're good.
She's really good.
Apparently.
Her tips are in the magazine.
That's funny.
So we're going to get deeper into those tips and how to give you guys all some things to work with.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. And what was the name of your company one more time?
Jenkins for Health.
Okay, awesome. So you guys go check her out on Facebook. If you cannot find her, just email me, amanda@kslm.news, and I will find you and copy all of your information and get it over to you guys. All right. Well, I'm going to give a huge shout out to our sponsor for this first half, which is Mike with Oddmost Pizza. He's been with us since the very beginning.
Very beginning.
And I love that about him because he's huge with his community. Cancer has a big meaning to him. And so it's just awesome. So thank you, Mike, for supporting us and continuing to support.
And for those that are following us on YouTube, I really encourage you to go back a few episodes when we were actually at Mike's making that pizza.
Yes.
That may have been one of our funnest go on location moments was to watch Mike.
That
make
was
a
super
pizza.
fun. And they're hiring. So if you are 18 years or older, reach out to Mike at the Lancaster location and apply. And also grab yourself a green monster on cauliflower crust. All right, we'll be right back, you guys.